welcome to the XM8 Ultimate Gun Guide with Dadventurer and...
Our goal for this video is 1,000 likes, so make sure you like and subscribe for more amazing Free Fire content.
We're breaking down the XM8, one of Free Fire's top guns, and we want to talk a little bit about XM8 gun stats. You can see that Free Fire tells us it comes standard with a 2x scope, it's a stable gun, and has no armor penetration, which is a new stat. But let's kind of break it down. Let's talk about movement speed in this game, which I know everybody is always telling us. What can you tell me about movement speed?
The movement speed when carrying a gun is 10% slower, and without a gun, it's regular.
Yeah, we checked that out, and we even did a side-by-side comparison of the movement speed here for people to kind of show them kind of what's going on here. You can see that with no gun, you're about 10% faster, and we even checked it out with a fully loaded gun. It was the same. Carver, tell me about the RPMs of the rate of fire.
The XM8 has a rate of fire of 660 RPM.
And that's about 11 shots a second. So that gives us a pretty good fire rate and a time to kill of, with a headshot, 180 milliseconds, which is almost instantaneous. It's super fast. The torso is 545 milliseconds to 727 milliseconds. And the limbs, if you're shooting the limbs, it's 818 to 909 milliseconds. So actually, that's quite slow if you're not hitting headshots. And we even put out a damage profile on this, and if you look at the damage profile on this gun, that headshot is really massive, even at 100 meters. And you can only see to 100 meters in this game before the guy will populate on screen. And so, but that torso and the limbs, it's low, and it's tough to get those shots. If you're going to get killed if you're missing those shots. And so there's, in the background, you can see Carver went on and played a solo, trying to find an XM8 to get some footage for us. He got it and got the booyah, so you can watch that video as we go along. Here, okay, Carver, tell us about the shot and the kill shot potential here.
The XM8 has a 2-shot kill potential with headshot, a 7-shot kill potential for torso to 8-shot, and a 9-shot to 10-shot limbs.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're seeing that's a lot of shots. That's a full second of sustained fire to get that damage. And so, ultimately, when we do this, you need to see that's pretty slow. Here we also have pulled the graphic back up. If you're hitting headshots with this gun, it's deadly. It's deadly at range. It has no drop, and so if you're wanting to hit those headshots, if you can drag shot, this is a gun that you can pick up and you can hit that headshot pretty easily with, especially as we look more about what the precise shots are coming up. But if you're an inaccurate shooter and torso and limb shooting, this gun is not a preferred gun. We will say, though, with the distance here, those standard distance ranges we had is like 0 to 38. If you put on the muzzle, you add 1 to 2 meters to your distance, 2 at like the farthest distances, and the muzzle 2 to 3 meters, and the muzzle 3, 4 to 5 meters. The muzzles really don't change the overall damage on the XM8 at all. You can run around without a muzzle. It's not really going to hurt you. It does have an ammo capacity. Tell me a little bit about the ammo capacity.
The default has 25 rounds in it, and with magazine 1 you can carry 31. With magazine 2 you can carry 34, and with magazine 3 you can carry 40 rounds.
Yeah, and I kind of think that magazine 2 is kind of broken. I think it should have been 35, maybe 36, and magazine 3. So magazine 2, if you can find 1 or 4, those are your best. You don't necessarily have to look for magazine 2. I'd pick it up if it's there, but it's really not that special. And then we kind of checked. We kind of checked there quickly on the double mag versus the magazine. The double mag increases your reload. We showed that very quickly. Increases your reload, of about maybe 10%. And then recoil control. This gun has a nice 3 precise shots. The first 3 shots, if you can hit and burst, are going to be lasers on dot, and if you get the foregrip 1, 2, and 3, you can see 4, 5, and 6 shots respectively. Those 6 shots right on target can do a lot of damage, and if you're hitting headshots, it's always going to be an instant kill with those burst headshots. And so, but again, if you're gonna do 11 shots to the torso, you really need to hit and burst of 3, 4, 5, or 6 to try to just speed that up. We can show you a little bit of the recoil here. You can see with the recoil where there is a significant difference as you get those foregrips with recoil. You'll see that the spread is not as big. There's definitely a reduced spread, and you get more of those precise shots right off the gate for that gun. Now, weapon balance, Carver. This is one of the things that we just saw in the July update for the game. The XM8 has been on the top of the AR list for a while now. One of the reasons because the weapon's so flexible and easy to use. They made some adjustments to the XM8 this patch, which what they did is they took the precise shots from 4 to 3, and really I think that's the default gun, because we noticed in that we found 3 precise shots before we even found this update, and we noticed that as you add the foregrip, you get more precise shots, even though it might be 3 and then that 4th one is super close. But I would call it a precise shot because it's so accurate for those first 6 shots with foregrip 3, for sure. And so here's some more gameplay here of Carver playing along here with us. And so I mean, we talked about this gun. What do you think about this gun overall? Like picking up an XM8 off the ground. Are you comfortable with this gun?
Yeah, it's a pretty easy gun to use, I will say. I do like it, and it's got some good damage.
Yeah, I think it's got great damage for a headshot person. If you are not a headshot person, there's probably other guns that are ground loot that you could pick up. I like that it comes with a standard scope, which I don't have to go find a scope. But the issue is you really can't I don't think you put a scope on this gun. I think it's kind of stuck with that standard scope, and I think this would be nasty with a 4x scope attached to it. But that's kind of one of the things that we really like the XM8. I've played with it a lot as a new player in the game, but as I think you get more advanced, there's better guns to pick up off the ground, maybe such as a SCAR. I'm thinking the FAMAS they're trying to really beef up, and they're beefing up the AK in the update. So I think there's some better guns maybe to pick up, but the XM8 is definitely a workhorse that you can pick up. Now, it doesn't have any armor penetration with it. So if someone's wearing armor, the XM8's not a gun that's going to help you drop them quickly. And I do feel as we kind of look over some of these other gun guide guns, we're going to find some guns with armor penetration that are going to give you especially a higher TTK with someone wearing armor. We didn't actually do that in that gun. We may update this gun in time, kind of doing what happens if you're wearing a level 1 helmet versus level 3 helmet, and wearing those armor pieces, because generally your enemies are going to have some type of armor on unless you're killing them when you drop. But you can see Carver is pretty nasty here with a couple headshots on this. But the XM8 is a great gun for any player. It's not gonna change the world for you if you're an excellent player. It's probably a gun you're gonna leave on the ground more often than not. But I feel it's a pretty good gun. And Carver, as you played this whole match with the XM8 for the most part, kind of how did you feel? What were your kind of perception of this gun after you got the booyah with it?
I definitely did think that this is a better early game gun, because later in game when people start getting armor, I was seeing differences in the damage and how it's not very good when you got some good armor on.
Yeah, and so I think you pick it up early game, maybe replace it with a SCAR or an M14. An M14 can just shred. Or if you're just super accurate and you're going to get those headshots, this is a gun that puts 6 precise shots with a foregrip 3, and I think is nasty if you can burst shot it. But if you're someone who's just hitting a bunch of torso shots with auto assist on, kind of like you're hitting right there, those just aren't, and you can see that 11, 12, 9, that person's wearing armor, so you're not hitting it. You're not hitting it at those standard limb shots. And so, if you're going to be facing armor, this is probably not your gun unless you can hit headshots there. But that's where we're at. So I hope you've enjoyed this ultimate gun guide of the XM8. We're going to just play a little audio here at the end, let you watch Carver finish out this game with the booyah with the XM8. Maybe give you some strategy and see some of how it does some damage with some armor on at distance. And please let us know in the comments below if you like this video, if there's more things that you'd want to know about the XM8 that we could do a little research on. And then maybe tell us in the comments below what gun you'd like to see us break down with an ultimate gun guide next. I'm Dadventurer. Thanks for watching. And
I'm Flem Carver. I hope you enjoyed.
Make sure you like and subscribe and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And we will see you soon.